The morning is early, but crisp and comfortable. Still dim from the cool of the night as the first rays of the sun peek over the horizon. I move the animals from one pasture to another for the first time in several days, thanks to the good weather and fast growth of the area. The breeze is gentle, coming in from the west, and the month of October is about to begin, just a day or two away. The last 3 months, while tumultuous, have become calm and relaxed here in the end. As I stand next to a great outcropping, I hear an all-too-familiar voice in my ears.
Tornur.
The voice of disappointment from my master, a man seemingly human but older than anyone I've ever met. The sound was gruff, almost harsh and growly.
We're very disappointed, Tornur.
Oh, hell. I turn to face the familiar voice. Good to see you, sir. What brings you out this far in the frontier? My free hand is shaking slightly. I've got a good idea why he's here, and it's not good. I fucked up, and he knows it.
Oh, been here the whole time. Figured it would be best to follow along, make sure you didn't go starting a region-spanning forest fire, or maybe burning a prince alive in front of an entire mountain of dwarves, starting a revolution, going against all of that training we thought we beat into you a century ago? What do you have to say for yourself, student?
They sit atop the great landform suddenly, as though having been invisible before, but only now appearing. A 7-foot-tall, tan-skinned monstrosity of a human being, rippling with muscle, with a long central braid of blonde hair that seems to flow against the wind, like it were prehensile or something. I take a deep breath and steel myself. Some of that was unavoidable, sir. The forest fire in particular. I wasn't interested in being digested by plants, and unfortunately the conditions limited my control of the situation. I plant my staff and doff the timbrel armor, stepping forward. As for the prince, I have no excuse. I've been under the heel of such people, and it took me back to the time when you found me. All anger and frustration, lack of discipline and focus. I would have done it differently now that I've cooled my head and rebuilt the foundation you helped me make. They roll their head back and forth, eyes that look for all the world like the night sky rolling about in their skull.
Well, you could have flown away. You could have cut down a tree and dropped it on them, then walked over the log with your friends to get out of there safe and sound. You could have stood and fought like we did before you caught us on fire with the rest of the forest.
They stand, dropping down and landed firm next to me without so much as a bend of the knees.
Don't worry. It's clearly just been too long, and you need a refresher on self-control and decisive thought before action, without which we all hurt those we love on accident.
They told me as they rolled their shoulders, the joints popping loudly. Flight wasn't an option. They would have crawled over a fallen tree. Fighting them is what I did. I tried to punch a hole in the mass. The winds were unfavorable. I'm sorry you got caught in it. I sniff a bit. If it's a refresher I need, then so be it, sir. I realized my errors, but if I must prove it to you, then... The great knee-length braid reaches out and grabs me by the chest. 6 long, tassel-like locks at the end wrapping around my chest and throwing me like a rag doll to the side.
Aren't you a druid? Can't you talk to plants? Couldn't you convince them to stop? There's always another option, after all. Always another way. Summon a bunch of rhinos to clear the way.
They shrug, walking up to me as I stand again.
And now, poor Olek. The boy's got a long way to go after you led him astray.
They kick me in the gut as I get back on my feet, sending me reeling and rolling over the dirt.
And we've got a lot to catch up on. You don't kill the aristocrats, you outperform them. You eclipse them.
They pick me back up and slam me against the rock. Fist slamming into the stone next to my face hard enough to give me instant headaches as the rock cracks. You think that didn't cross my mind? Sure, I could have done that. You know how close we would have had to have been? How much danger that would have put us in? I am a druid. Don't act like you know more about nature than me. My eyes burn nearly white from the flames as my wildfire spirit emerges between us with a howl of defiance. Yeah, I really fucked up with the Royal. I'll probably pay for that, and I'll face it when it comes. As I say my piece, the wildfire spirit explodes into existence, bathing the area around it in fire, but never quite coming into existence as the hands of my old master wrap around the flames and crumple them down into a fist, which they cast aside casually to explode in the background.
Do not take us for some simple fist fighter, child!
Their voice echoes loud enough to shake the ground and scare the nearby animals.
We could scrape the rock behind your rubble! We could strike that lonely mountain you so callously tried to overthrow and separate it from its roots! We have traveled world after world, laid and broken gods! What do you know of nature? What do you know of payment?
The world around me is suddenly silent, not from the deafening calls of my old master, but for all things. Every single source, from the season's last flies in the air to the mice in the grass to all the babbling stream in the north, all is silent. Then a deep breath as the monk closes their eyes and turns, the outcropping behind me crumbling loudly as the rest of the world dares to voice its opinion once again.
Your world is but one of many that we have visited.
They warn quietly, calmly.
The monastery, but one of many more that we have founded. You, but one of countless students throughout numberless eons that we have trained. You are neither the best nor the worst, limited by this pitiable world that you were born into, but you are not without potential to change it, to change this world. To master the world around you, however, you must master yourself, to control your most potent urges. Remember the old bull and the farmer.
The analogy they've told me 1,000 times if they've told me once.
The emotions are the bull, a wild animal without control, capable of so much power, but without the direction to make it useful. The mind is the farmer, he who holds the plow, drives the bull, plants the fields, and provides order to the might of the animal. Be the farmer, not the bull.
They speak sagely. I managed to hold myself up after the shock of force, barely. The farmer. I can't take him in a stand-up fight, but I won't show fear or weakness. I will be that.
Good. Now, this place, the cliffs, the forests, the pastures and fields.
They look out to the world and raise their arms a bit.
They're nice. A bit warm, but nice.
They compliment.
You found a good place for your packs and flocks. We'll stick around for a bit, just to make sure you don't burn it all to the ground as well. Maybe keep you in line. Maybe just use your magic to grow super dank pot. Dunno yet. Don't expect us to stay in that hotel, though. Not gonna pay for what we've been doing almost a year anyway, following your short ass around. And besides, we hear you've moved to the other side of the lake now, and there is an attractive princess around. So, have a nice day, student.
You too, sir. You too. Only after he's left my sight and I'm sure he's gone do I allow myself to sit down and the adrenaline running through me to just watch my shaking hands. I guess I better get my act together if he's gonna be following me around. I should have figured as much.